So we're making our way up the ridge here. This is an excellent reminder of those geographical regions of Georgia in which we've been talking about in 8th grade. We're still in the Ridge and Valley, which is where Calhoun is also located. We're only about 20-25 minutes away from Calhoun, but you know, as you get closer to the ridges, you'll see a change in a lot of the flora. You'll see a variety of more of trees and flowering plant species. A lot of this will just be because of the lack of human interaction in the area in comparison to more urban environments. But a major influencer in this region, obviously the ridges, but even here you're going to have a microclimate or a micro-ecosystem within our region. There's going to be more rainfall here, just right down the road from us than we have. But we also have an excellent opportunity to look and see the impact that the water cycle has on our local environment. We're standing over a creek that's running off the ridge, and these are everywhere out here. Literally every few miles you're going to have a creek or some type of runoff. Obviously more so when you're in rainier seasons. But this creek will probably make its way down to Dry Creek or Johns Creek and then intersect the Oostanala and then make its way towards Rome. And so it's just a reminder of how precipitation and water runoff influences, you know, our entire region. So we're making our way up the ridge here. You know, wonderful trail. It's very heavily used. Chances are you've used it yourself or someone that you know has used it. But you can see the impact that either prescribed burning or forest fire has had on the forest here. And we're making our way up to that ridge line. But most natural environments in forests actually benefit from burns from time to time. And so when you hear that people will discuss you know, how bad it is when something burns and so forth, you know, just remind them this is actually going to benefit the forest in the long run. So we are making our way up the ridge, up the trail here at Keown Falls. But we're stopping here obviously for the views, but definitely to see another learning opportunity, primarily looking at 7th grade life science, but you can tie in 6th grade earth sciences as well because of the impact of the prescribed burns on the soil. But you know, we see a lot of new plants coming up. This burn gives flowering plants, saplings, and bushes and a variety of other species a chance to come in during this time of primary succession and take root and just create a more diverse ecosystem here on the ridge. If you come back here at the end of June or the beginning of July, you'll actually see wild huckleberries that you can pick and eat. But the legend has it that some of these plants are actually not native huckleberries, but wild blueberry, or not wild, but blueberry plants that the CCC boys planted in the years surrounding the Great Depression. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit. Just giving you another view from this trail. It's fantastic. Until the rainfall has made a major impact on the flow of the water. We see some mountain laurel over here, which you do see from time to time around where we live, but it prefers higher elevation, and we're definitely higher than Calhoun right now. But you know, this is a more moist environment. It's a freshwater aquatic ecosystem, believe it or not, just in that creek. And so that's going to influence some of the plants that you see surrounding it. You see some of the huckleberries and whatnot, but you see lichen and moss growing on these rocks. We've talked about the impact that these rock layers have on the earth and the environment, and how the multiple standards and subjects connect from grade level to grade level as you go up each grade. But the cool thing about coming to these places is, you know, when you're somewhere new, you always make new friends, and we've almost made a new friend today, a snail, but unfortunately someone met him first. But you know, you're going to see more snails, you're going to see more slugs, a variety of centipedes, definitely going to see a lot more amphibians. There's a wide variety of salamanders and whatnot in the area. Falls, and we're going up to the top of Johns Mountain, which is the tallest mountain in our area, or ridge per se. As we're going up there, we can see, you know, Virginia pine, loblolly pines, plenty of oaks, and a variety of other hardwoods. maples and whatnot. We see blackberry plants coming up, some huckleberries. We still see some pansies, but we also see that erosion's played a major factor in this trail. But you know, that's just going to happen when you have human impact. Coming up, we have a beautiful example of a dogwood tree and how beautiful they are when they bloom. And we also have overlook here at the top. You're looking this direction towards Villanelle in Walker County. If you look this way, that's going to be, I think, East Armurchie Road, and that's going to take you towards another section called Dry Creek Trails. Fantastic place to check out and to sort of socially distance yourself away from people. But you can see here that we have a great view of numerous valleys and ridges heading towards Lafayette, Georgia, which is going to be over that second ridge. Then in the distance, you see the start of a brand new, obviously not brand new, but brand new to us in our series of virtual field trips, a brand new geographical region of Georgia, the Appalachian Plateau. And this gives us a great perspective of why it's called a plateau. Plateaus are going to be high sections of rising earth with a flat top, and we can clearly see that the Lookout Mountain area and the Appalachian Plateau, is very flat on the top in comparison to the rolling hills and ridges and valleys surrounding it. You're going to see more caves, more waterfalls. You're going to see a variety of changes in the flora and the fauna. The fauna, or the animals, are going to be very similar to what we have here, but you're going to have a different variety of evergreen trees. And we have mountain laurel here. You may have some rhododendron there, but it's going to be very different. The farming is going to be very poor in comparison to here. Poor as in soil quality. Obviously we've got good solid farmland here, mostly cattle. Row crop is going to be more in your lower and upper coastal plain in Georgia. But as you get into the Appalachian Plateau, farming was very limited, and still is, and that's one of the reasons why the population is much smaller there than other regions of Georgia, which are, the population is going to be concentrated around urban areas and farming communities. Making our way down the mountain here at Johns Mountain, Keown Falls Loop. Unfortunately, we spotted an invasive species that we've talked about a while back at Resaca. And you notice how this is close to the road, where there's going to be more foot travel, more vehicle travel, probably going to be more birds as well. But we have two Bradford pear trees here that probably need to be cut down at some point. They're going to take sunlight and other valuable resources away from native plant species. But you can imagine maybe a bird or a person brought this tree here unknowingly via a seed. But it gives you an example about how invasive species can take root and take over areas very quickly. Hey class, we're wrapping up our virtual field trip out at Keown Falls and Johns Mountain. We've started in the valley here and worked our way up to the top, looking at waterfalls, looking at a variety of natural impacts on the forest and how that impacts the plant species. We've looked at a variety of standards across grade levels and subjects once again. We've looked at another place in the Ridge and Valley region of Georgia and how the water cycle plays a role in sort of forming that land. We've also talked about the differences between the Ridge and Valley and the Appalachian Plateau, in which we could see from the top, and how farmland differs from place to place in Georgia. We've also talked about the impact of a variety of other factors today on our field trip. But we've practiced social distancing the entire time. We saw some people, you can obviously hear a car in the background, but we made sure that we kept our space and we didn't touch anyone throughout the day. But you need to make sure you're doing the same, and I challenge you to continue learning, continue growing, and continue to strive for excellence at Calhoun Middle School. Until next time, peace out. This is Coach Lindsey. Thank you.